Welcome to Same Cast Different Day podcast. I'm your host, Martel and
And I am the co-host, Crystal B.
And to get things kicked off here, I'm going to start with my normal tangent that I normally start the episodes with. And my tangent is to use on Crystal's Bleed Radio. You probably heard some of one, but that's not the tangent for this episode. The tangent for this episode is I did it. Oh, I should say went to the grocery store because I don't go to the grocery store no more. Um, I did an online grocery order for curbside pickup, and I was going through the grocery order. I'm like, why in the hell is a bag of 4 pound wings $15 damn? When did the price of wings get so damn expensive? These chicken used to be the most cheapest things you can go to the store and buy and cook for your family. It better feed your family. And now it's $15 damn for a 4 pound bag of chicken wings. You know what? I feel bad for some of these family members out here who got like 14 kids in their family and normally buy like four of those for like maybe $10 or $20 or something like that and be able to feed a whole entire family. But god damn it, $15 for one bag of wings. This is just outrageous. I'm calling it the damn governor. This is ridiculous.
Well, I hate to tell you the story. The bad news is that the price of chicken has rose significantly. I mean, percentage-wise, because apparently they cannot produce enough.
Bastards. And then on top of that, you know, me being me, I thought I put the chicken back, took it on my shopping cart. Apparently, I bought the chicken without knowing I bought the chicken. So I didn't know until I got home and I was bringing in the groceries and I went through, like, started putting the stuff away. Like, I guess I did buy that bag of chicken. So I'm pissed that I bought the bag of chicken in the first place. I should certainly start to pay attention to more stuff.
Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world.
It is the end of the freaking world because chicken is too damn high. And gas too. Gas is too damn high
Well,
too. They talking about We Energy talking about
gas
the
is like
price of heating is going to go up this winter because gas is high. I don't know what. I'm sick of this damn pandemic. I'm sick of it. Get your damn vaccines so I can go back to having cheap products. Damn it.
I mean, to be honest with you, they actually Walmart, um, Home Depot, and companies pushed the federal government to tell them they need to run these ports, especially in California, where they have ships just sitting out docked out in the ocean with product, right, ready to unload, to
Mm-hmm.
work 24/7 until all the ships are unloaded.
I mean, but who's going to pay these people?
Well, that means that's coming
And,
out of those contractors.
and you
That's
got to
coming.
think that that kind of work requires a lot of labor, and a lot of I keep telling the millennials just don't want to do that kind of work.
I
So
mean,
that's really one of the biggest issues is finding the people who really want to do that work.
that's true. Hmm. That's very true. I mean, I feel bad that there's people out there that had the jobs and they did, again, before the shots were available, vaccines were available, that they passed on due to COVID. Okay, there was probably some hardworking people out there that we did lose. All right,
Mm-hmm.
and we, us here on the podcast, it is very sad to hear that those people are not with us anymore because those might have been the hardest working people out there. And we're not saying that the people are not out there right now. They're busting their butts because Martel and I do the same thing every day. We're out there busting our butt every day at work, trying to get stuff done, and it's not an easy gig, by all means. It's actually, I mean, there's a lot more to it. So, and everyone just thinks, oh, it's just a walk in the park. Well, I can tell you right now, not everything is a walk in the park. It is gonna be hard sometimes, but this sucks that we have nobody willing to work. That's really pathetic.
I mean, they pay the right amount of money. I bet some people go there and work.
They have to start paying people a better wage. I mean, I've heard of union people from companies saying that they're going to start paying people more money because they've been showing up to work every day to go to work.
I
To
mean, at least some people got a union to fight for them. Nowadays, a union don't really exist anymore, especially in the states who had governors like the worst governor of all time, Scott Walker, who got rid of collective bargaining.
he is one of the worst governors of this state. Worst. Seriously. Mm-mm. He's not even, to me, and he's fighting for some rights now that with the Republican Party and this and that. Again, we don't talk general in politics here. We just give you the facts, people. And to me, Scott Walker, former governor of Wisconsin, Scott Walker, it did more damage to this state than a predecessor, which used to be here. Again, neither of us. I was probably really little, and that was Governor Tommy Thompson. He was a Republican, but he actually looked on both sides of the road. So if you ever look him up, Tommy was actually one of the best governors from this is I believe he was in like early 80s or maybe late 70s, early 80s, all the way in through the 90s. One of the best governors of this state. We were the most prosperous in the Midwest. One of the best. He got out. He got out and got himself a federal job. Now he's back being I believe, a senator for the state. So I will tell you right now that people like him is people that we need in office. That's what we need. We don't need people that are going to be one-sided on everything. We need both sides to fight and fight fair.
Um, um, I will actually say that Jim Doyle probably did a more better job than Tommy Thompson. Because because while Tommy Thompson was in office, they did have that whole segregation thing where they were like trying to stop blacks from going to the south side of town, well, minorities from going from the south side of town while he was in office during that time period.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know. That's something I really did. To be honest, I did not know about
yeah,
that.
there was a time period in Milwaukee where they didn't want minorities to live on the south side of town. So they believe they like the block bridges and all this other kind of stuff for they wouldn't be able to come on that side of town. And so that's why I kind of side more towards Jim Doyle during his time as governor, because it seemed like during his time period I really didn't hear the state didn't seem so divided during his time in office. That's why I kind of respect more of his term more.
I'm not saying Jim Doe is a bad governor. I'm not gonna say that. Again, everyone thought he just spent a lot of money or what he did. Again, I'm not gonna like take sides. I'm just saying. I mean, he did do good. Don't come. Did the segregation thing about Tommy Thompson? I guess that's something to tell you the truth. I did not know about, and I
Yeah,
wish.
and I
To
feel
be
like
honest, with
him
you,
as a governor, I believe that happened during the time he was governor. During that time, I believe was somewhere in the 80s or somewhere around that time where this was going on. So it wasn't uh it was really a time period where we just like what I said, like people of color just wasn't allowed to go on that side of town.
I think that's wrong. That's very wrong. People should not be judged by what color your skin is or something like that. I think you should be accepted everywhere, regardless.
Yeah.
But you know what? There are people out there that just don't really don't believe in that. They just don't.
And then Scott Walker came in and just ruined everything. And then on top of that, with Trump being in office at that time period,
Oh, oh,
because I think Trump got elected probably like the last 2 years of
yep,
Scott Walker's term, and oh
yep.
my God, that was just a horrible time period.
It was one of the worst, to be honest with you. And when we had Tony Evers, when people were like, "Listen, we're done with Walker," he ran. I think he did two
I,
terms. Two terms, right?
I believe so. And the crazy part about it, did he do 2 terms? No, I don't think it was a real. What he? I think it was 2 terms. Yeah,
I'm
because
gonna.
I think it was two
Let me
terms
go
because
check on that.
Tom Barrett did run against him
Yep,
and
I'm about to look
lost.
up right now just to make sure. But I thought it was two. But I remember, yeah, Tom Barrett was the original.
Yeah, I think Tom Barrett was the only person he ran up against during his besides Tony Evers. But the crazy part about it is he had put that law in where if it was like what the margin or was it like less than 1%, it had to be less than a 1% in the voting count in order to ask for a recount.
Hmm?
and he kind of screwed himself on that because the voting was just like I think a little over 1%, and he could have asked for a recount, but he couldn't because he it's the law that he put in place that that he couldn't ask for a recount. Who's to say that he wouldn't have possibly won that election if they did a
Oh,
recount?
that's true.
And then
So he had, real quickly, he had two terms,
okay,
2011 till 2019. So that was his. So he did two 4-year terms. What he did.
the worst 8 years of Wisconsin lives
Oh,
ever.
the worst. I
I
mean,
mean, because a lot of people keep on saying like Scott Walker did so much. I'm like, tell me what Scott Walker did for the state of Wisconsin, besides spend
nothing,
millions and millions of
nothing,
dollars. Like the only
nothing.
thing he did was I think he had the zoo interchange here in Milwaukee redone over, which he slowed down because he said it'd cost us less money if we take a longer time period to build this intersection and this interstate interchange, I should say. So like other than that, I don't know what this man did for 8 years. And then on top of that, when he was voted out and he lost as governor, he passed all of these laws to weaken the governor that was coming in power. So now we basically have a powerless government. I mean, a powerless governor sitting in the office that's governor of Wisconsin, and you hear all these Republicans and people saying, "Oh, Tony Evers isn't doing this, he isn't doing that, he isn't doing that." Like, what can he do if the senators has more power than the governor?
It's true.
There's nothing that this man can do.
No, mm-mm. No, it's nothing. Mm-mm. No,
And
no.
I don't understand what these people expect at this point from Tony Evers at this point. Although I find it crazy that so they was talking about that Milwaukee put in another nomination for the Democratic National Convention to be held here in Wisconsin, and
Mm-hmm.
now the Republicans of Wisconsin just put in a bid for the Republican National Convention to be held here in Milwaukee.
Oh boy.
This is going to be a disaster. And then it's crazy. What if they do get both the Republican and Democratic National Convention in one city? That's going to be a disaster waiting to happen. I hope that I don't care which party get the nomination. It'll just be nice for the city to have it based because of the money that the city will make off the whether it's
Mm-hmm.
the Republican or Democratic National Convention. But other than that, I'm
I
like,
agree.
huh?
I agree. I mean, but it's just gonna be just a dog and cat fight the whole entire time.
The whole entire time. And one of the things I always stress about is I really don't care who president is. I don't care what party is really elected into office is because the president really don't have that much power, to be honest. The Supreme Court and the Senates and the legislative, them people have a lot more power than the government does. Really, all the president really do is just sign bills and tell the army what to do. Other than that, the governor really doesn't
Yeah.
have. He just a spokesperson for our country. I mean, pretty much that's all the president is. So I was telling people, make sure you go vote for your senators and representatives and your legislative. Go vote for them people. Them people are way more important than president.
I mean, a president can make or break stuff, but if you have a majority on one side or other, they can pull the direction of whoever side's got the largest populace percentage wise.
Yeah,
You know,
but
so
at the end of the day, everything still got to go through, legislative and all that other stuff.
yep, yep. You can't just randomly. I mean, you can't just randomly just go and, oh, by the way, I'm just gonna make a law.
Yeah, like when it came to like the whole stimulus thing, like when they had to send out each stimulus payment, like all that had the president can't just be like, hey, whoa. Okay, y'all. I don't know what happened. I had some technical issues going on. Crystal say it's a ghost. I mean, my house is almost 100 years old, and yeah.
It is Halloween season, so that's possible. So you were talking about voting for representatives and get the right people in.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what
just
what country it is?
depending on which way you're leaning towards. If you more of a Democratic person and you want, I guess, tax relief for people, I don't know really what the Democrats do. If you want to, vote for most of your legislators and representatives, vote Democrat. And if you're a Republican and want the Republicans to tax more on the lower class people, then vote Republican. That's the only way I can describe it.
I mean, it's true because the Republicans will all of a sudden they'll tax you, and all of a sudden they'll give you this big like, so we overtax them, blah blah blah. Now they'll give you this incentive, give money back.
Um, I mean, Democrats overtax too,
So so the Democrats always try to go for rich people. Now they're trying to do Joe Biden's trying to do somewhere.
but
Anyone?
there's nobody to represent the middle.
No, because they don't believe there actually is a middle anymore. The point of the story is that it's either you're poor or you're rich.
But okay, but what about the people who, okay, I don't make enough money to qualify for government assistance, but I make just enough money that I don't get government assistance, but yet I'm still struggling.
Yeah, and
There's
again,
nobody for them type of people where I'm just that in between, barely making. I'm making enough to make it, but I'm not. But
yeah,
I'm still. But I'm making not making enough to make it out of the situation that I'm in type.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's just feel like there's just nobody to represent them people. Like I always tell people, like it just seems like you know the middle class pay the taxes for the lower class people that Democrats who seem to lean towards and care more about to keep their public housing and rent assistance and food stamps and all them other things programs going and free insurance going from all them people, and then yet the middle class buy the products and pay towards the higher class, the high class people and the millionaires to keep them rich. We keep them rich, and then but there's nobody to support that middle class people who are still struggling and need that day-to-day help. Just because I make enough, I make more than $24,000 a year doesn't mean I necessarily don't need help. That doesn't mean necessarily that I don't need help buying food or all this. Because if I'm paying out of pocket for, I'm paying for some middle class people, I'm paying, $900 for now at the price of a studio apartment. And then I'm paying car insurance, and then I got to pay gas and electricity, health insurance and all this kind of thing because none of that is given to you for free. So
Nope.
yes, I might gross 1,500 $1,500 a paycheck, but after they get through taking out everything, I'm only left with $800. And out of that $800, you still got to figure out a way how to survive.
Yeah, that's true.
Wonder what. All right, so I don't know what happened. I'm having some internet technical issues on my end going on here. So I don't even remember what we were talking about, to be honest. Um, do
We kind of talked about like who to vote for and what side depending on who you agree with. Again, we talked about taxing of get taxed either way. True, I mean both do tax you. Republicans tax you and all of a sudden feel bad and all of a sudden they want to give you money back the next year. Maybe after so many years, just so that way then. To me, I believe that they're just trying to get your vote by throwing money at you.
hmm
I feel like when senators and representatives and governors want to get your vote, they'll throw money. I would like to run for I can't talk. I'd like to run for governor. I can't talk of the states. I'm not gonna throw money at people. Okay, either you like me or you don't.
hmm
That's it. Okay, I'm not gonna throw money at people. I don't got time to go to all the counties, this and that. I would more glad to have town hall meetings, talk to people, and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna really worry about things like things that are gonna be, hey, by the way, um, I'm gonna throw you blah 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 this amount of money just so you guys vote for me. No, I'm not doing that. No, mm-mm. No. Mm-mm.
And I find it crazy that these are the same issues that we have been talking about for so long. Like, why are we? It's been 40 freaking years, or 40 years, 100 and some years. I don't know how long our government's been around, the American government, but it feels like forever. And we're still having these same conversation, these same issues, just same everything. And it's just
So
basically a big battle between rich and poor.
yeah,
And it,
I'm gonna. Yeah, go ahead.
and is at one point, when are we gonna just say, you know what, we need to come up with something, or we need to do something to make a difference?
Dude, just think. This little idea started 245 years ago, in
And
1776.
we still going through the same bullshit.
We're almost at 250. Almost at 250.
Mm, mm, mm. And here we are still going through the same crap. This is ridiculous.
You know, at 250 years, and we still have segregation, we still have hate, and we still have people making way more money by trying to push those rich people higher and everybody else down lower.
It's crazy because you speak of segregation and hatred. I saw this video. I don't know when this happened, but I just saw it for the first time online. And this lady, a Karen, called the police on a black family because they were having a deck built onto their house. And she
What?
went over there questioning if they had building permits, and then both. And mind you, these are these black homeowners were both lawyers, and this lady has been harassing them since they moved over there.
Oh my
And
gosh.
she came over onto these people property and was trying to question them about permits, and why were they, why do you have guys, can you guys build this on? And then her other people in the neighborhood were like, no, you have been harassing them. And this lady even called the police. And a lot of these Karens don't understand that, especially with policing, when you call the police on black people, or should I say minority people, and they're totally innocent, but you're calling the police on them anyway, just because they're not doing what you want them to do or to get your way, you are putting their lives in danger.
Hmm.
Like, there's a good chance that they will not see their family members again because you called the police and made this interaction happen with them.
That's true. That is
And
true.
it's crazy that we have to say that, but it's like you said, it's true that, is not guaranteed when a minority person have an interaction with a police officer that is going to go good.
No, no. I mean, to be honest with you, let before we want to jump on anyone, okay? Let's stop. Okay, let's I understand if a person gets aggressive or something like that. I understand law enforcement agents and firefighters, first responders. You mean they are like the first on the scene, so they have to be prepared. They
Hmm.
have to be ready for anything. People
That
can
is true.
go crazy,
And
but
then when they make the accusations that they being threatened by somebody, it's going to make the police on this come up on the scene and be aggressive towards that them, whoever who had the police called on them.
so I mean it's no different. Like instead of jumping like what they did, I mean it's no different. Like we talk about going back to 1992, 94 with Rodney King.
Hmm.
Look at George Floyd happened last year.
Hmm.
Let's Brianna, I can't remember her last name, from
Breonna
Missouri.
Taylor.
Brianna Taylor from Missouri.
Hmm.
Let's just take those three. Again, there was a lot more. Again, we're just picking the ones that actually have been on world news.
Or
Just think about this.
or the
No,
kid who was just on a jog and the two guys was it the two guys shot him and killed him?
yeah. Oh yeah, you're telling. Yep. Yeah. I mean, just randomly, just that's it, done. Like this person wasn't doing anything wrong, right?
Exactly.
Just going for his typical run.
And then the crazy part about it is the lady told the police that the man had pushed her, and her own neighbors who are also white or whatever they were
Yeah.
saying like, no, he didn't push you. She pushed her husband back away from you to get him away from you, and you kept going up to them and approaching them. You were the one escalating the situation.
And that's sad. That's very sad that people were just like and that person would just wanted to be irritant because they don't want those people there.
And I feel like people who does these type of things and make these false reports to the police should be getting jail time.
I'm not against it. I'm with you. To be honest with you,
And-
just because you don't want someone in your neighborhood, you have no right to
Mhm.
actually let's break this down, okay? You buy a property, okay? All right.
Mhm.
If you buy it in the city, okay, it's on a lot or acreage, wherever else it is, okay. You do understand that even though you pay taxes on that, you do understand that legitimately you may own the house and that chunk of land, but you're still paying taxes on that land and that house that's on.
Mhm.
The city can take you away from that place. They can decide to say, you know what, this person is new and so. We wrote them enough times. That's it. That they have the powers that be to do what they need to do. That's possible. It's very so.
I mean, it'd be hard for the city to do that. Like, I think like the only way the city can really remove you from your home if your house is considered unlivable.
Well, I mean, but I'm just saying there has to be. They have to take proper steps. I'm
Yeah,
not
they
saying
have to take the
remove you.
proper steps. Like the only thing I believe, like longest the property tax is paid up on the property and you're basically the lawn is cut and you have running water going to the property, like only way they can possibly remove you from your house if your house is considered unlivable.
Hmm. I
Because
mean,
if and there's nothing else they can really do about it.
that's true. I mean, but they said there's proper that they have
Hmm.
to steps and procedures they have to do. Excuse me. That yeah, that has to go on. So by all means, I think it is wrong that if you can't keep a place up, what's the point of you owning it?
That is true.
So, but back to the story. This Karen has no rights whatsoever other than trying to harass and bully neighbors. Okay, that
Hmm.
are probably trying to get away from wherever they are. Again, maybe they were living on a rough side of town. And they want to be somewhere where it's a little more safer.
Yeah, they were. This was a suburban area.
So, I'm just saying maybe where they moved from. I'm saying where they went from to where they went to, maybe they want to be somewhere safer.
I mean, they were
Okay.
lawyers, so they could have been living in a bad area before. They could have just been living in an apartment or a condo or something, and then decided to.
And it doesn't matter who you are. If you make some decent money, or you're a couple and you make some good money, you're like I consider like a power couple that makes a decent amount of money together. I mean, no crime. You can afford a lot of things, but sometimes you have to understand that not every cul-de-sac is going to be one race, one religion, or one color. You
Hmm.
understand that there's always going to be those people where, like in different parts of wherever you live, there could be a wide variety of people,
Hmm.
and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with that. You need to be okay with people around you. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that you're going to all agree on stuff. Okay, you may not be content or happy with other people, your neighbors or people around that area, but
Hmm.
that doesn't make you turn into the Karen and try to get them, kind of push them in a corner and get rid of them. I don't think that's right. Mm-mm.
Right. Especially when somebody has spent their money to move into that area. Because like, I couldn't imagine spending like $300,000 or $400,000 that I'm purchasing a home and I'm probably spending about $2,000 to $3,000 a month on a mortgage to be where a place where I'm supposed to have peace and a place where I'm supposed to be able to relax and lay my head down and feel, safe, but have to deal with people like Karens, questioning everything I'm doing, watching everything I'm doing. This lady has literally was watching this family for months and constantly harassing them for months and months and months until this incident happened where it was all recorded and put online. And once other people found out what happened online when they posted the video, these people actually started a protest and marched to this lady's house and was outside of her house, um, with all kinds of sign and stuff, standing with the family who was being harassed. And all of this was because they were building a freaking deck. onto their property. Like, why is that any of your concern that they're building a deck onto their property?
It's not. It's not like their concern or anything else. And to me, if I was little, that was that kind of couple. Let's just take context. Let's say that um, being I'm transgender. Say my husband's a trans man, right? I'm a trans woman. Say we bought a
Hmm.
house and this Karen would do similar thing to us. Okay, okay, or again, whatever color you want to make me to be, whatever. What I'm saying is that to the point of almost you'd want to either fence in your yard so you don't see them, okay, and put the deck low enough so they can't see through you, that,
Uh,
or or
don't,
literally put the deck somewhere else where they just like on opposite side of the building, the house structure, so you just don't see them at all.
oh, don't even get me started because there was another video involving a fence being put up with another Karen. So another Karen came rolling by in a wheelchair, and then I can't get it out. But whatever, the word I'm trying to say is that she miraculously got up and was out of this wheelchair and walked up to these people for some reason. So we're first we are trying to figure out why she in a wheelchair in the first place. But this lady was literally about to get ready to call the police and was arguing with these people because they were cutting a route to a tree that was on their side of the property or on their side of the property line to put up a fence. And she was calling the police. She was calling the police. She was arguing with the people. She was arguing with the workers because they were cutting the roots to a tree before they could put up a fence. Like
Like
it's starting to get out of hand.
people are getting a little too bent out of shape out of those things.
Yeah. Like
And
they were really making this huge scene over them cutting a root to a tree. I mean, I mean, if the tree is your tree or whatever, and but it's technically if it's on their side of the property line, they can do whatever they want to that tree.
yeah,
If it's
mm-hmm,
on their side of the property
yeah,
line,
mm-hmm,
and I don't understand what Karens don't get about that. Just like it was the other Karen, she's an older lady, and these people were out there trying to cut the lawn, and they had all these big equipment and stuff out there cutting the lawn, and she was trying to stop them from cutting the lawn, and it was on a private property that they were hired to do. Just like the other Karen called the police because this company that was ran by African Americans. They were a locksmith, and they went over there to replace a lock on a property, and a lady called the police on them saying they were breaking into the property. Like at some point, like it just has to stop.
it does. This thing is getting a little too far fetched. And like one of our actually we just actually had one of our um, guests here that was just talking about living in a neighborhood where you have a dog that nobody likes and they don't like you even walking, and or even have their dog go for a walk. I mean, that's just to me that would be the same. Now granted that isn't an understatement. So say they have dogs and you have a dog, right? So they
Mm-hmm.
can walk their dogs because you don't care, right? But if you say you and the dog go for a walk, all of a sudden they get triggered.
Mm-hmm.
Now wait. This is not a one-way street, people. This is not one way. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Um, this is a not a one-way street where it's just you and you control everybody, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can control your world, your place you live, and take care of it and maintain it and what you need to do, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You do not ever need to tell your neighbors or anybody else around there that they need to do this, that, and everything else, okay?
That is true. I mean, there was another video that got posted online. A Karen called the police on another family because they she called and said their dog was vicious and was barking at them, was trying to get to him. The police showed up. The police asked where the man dog was at, and the man asked what it was about, and they said that they got a call about a vicious dog. And he said, "I guarantee you, my dog is not vicious. My dog is fine. He's in the backyard, or he or she was in the backyard playing." And
Hmm.
the cop said, "Well, we still have to see the dog." So the man goes to take him to the backyard, called the dog over. The dog is just as happy as he can be. He or she can be playful. Came up to the police officer, wagging his tail, happy, like, "Hey,
Yeah.
pet me." That's it. And because there's like basically their neighbor doesn't like them, they're constantly calling the police on them about something. This time it just happens to be that their dog is vicious.
Ugh. That's just so pathetic. It is. That is just, it's pathetic. Actually, let's talk about more pathetic things. We talked about this earlier. North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson stands against the LGBTQ plus for saying they are filthy and controversial. Let's talk about this. Let's
First of all,
talk
that
about
that man needs to be impeached. He needs to lose his job immediately. First of all, because if you're a governor, you're not representing just one person or one color or one party. When you're a governor, even though you're a Democrat or Republican, you still represent all three parties. I believe the Republican, Democrats, and the Green Party. So you represent all parties still, and on the top of that, you represent all people. So for you to be in office and say that, that means you all don't really care about the people in your state. You don't care about the LGBTQ community in your state. You probably don't even care about minorities in your state. You're probably just one of those people where I'm all about rich people. It's all about me, 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 me. So at this point, you don't need to have that job because you're going to be about me, 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 and not about the people, which the people is the ones who vote you in and give you your job. And you're not about the people, then you don't need to hold that position.
so he's a lieutenant governor. He's in North Carolina. I understand those are southern states.
Okay,
Okay,
lieutenant governor, but still don't need to have his position.
regardlessly of okay, now people will get offended by this. He's a black man, but I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now. Hold on, stop right there. When people get offended by this, do you understand that this is the statement? Okay, that the role of leaders is to bring people together and stand up for dignity and rights of everyone, not to spread hate and undermine their own office. Okay, true facts. All right. To me, this is a person who ran for U.S. Senate. Okay, there's no debate here that this is an open discrimination and is unacceptable. Now that is statements from a newspaper press, and we don't like tell you specifics, but I can tell you right now from that statement right there that I just read, this gentleman here, I don't give a shit again what color you are. Okay, you represent hate. You are in a
Mm-hmm.
Baptist church. I watched the video this morning. You guys can look this up. Lieutenant Governor Robinson, and he was in a Baptist church in North Carolina, and he was saying how filth and controversial it is to be transgender or gay. Sir, sir, let me tell you one thing. You said in this video, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a transgender woman, okay? I'm going to stand up for people. Our main host here, he's gay, okay, by the way? So we're going to stand up for both of us. You said you were going to take a white man in the bathroom and check their DNA via science. Okay? First of all, sir, okay, I understand white, black, whatever else, this and that. You do not take someone else in a bathroom to check their DNA via science. Okay? That,
Mm-hmm.
to me, is discriminatory, not just against, and I'm not saying this is not against white people. That is just discrimination against human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And the human HRC that is part of the LGBTQ group said that this is a almost a legal fight. And I can tell you right now, I hope this guy, he's been asked now by numerous senators and representatives to quit his job. 2 years ago, a governor from North Carolina signed a bill banning all transgender people to use their correct bathrooms. Guess what happened to him? He got fired. He got his ass impeached.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mr. Robinson, I'm telling you right now, this podcast goes all over the world. Please resign, get out of your position before you make more hate in the world. Please. Okay? We love everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right? I love my host. He's a great friend of mine, and I will not accept that kind of hate.
I say, yeah, I don't care if you are black, white. If you say some off the wall type stuff, now you definitely, for one, like I said, still, you still don't need your position. You don't need to be in office because you're not about the people. If you're about the people, you wouldn't have said what you said.
I would never if like I said run for governor, it would be like, you know what? You got to take care of yourself.
What was
You
the
got to do
newspaper outlet that reported that story?
so that was from USA Today.
Okay.
So that's what we're so yeah. And again, there was other ones. I just quick brought up the one. This actually was said. This is crazy. This was actually said. Um, this actually was actually said in June. It at a church. Now, let's remember we talked about religious freedoms. You have freedom of religion. Okay, that means you can choose your religion. Okay, don't put these backwards. You're doing the what we had for our last president and vice president. You're mixed matching words. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you have freedom of religion. You can choose your own religion and go with it. Okay,
True.
you have your freedom of the Constitution, the freedoms that you have now. But word said that people are in those ranking positions as a governor, lieutenant governor, senator for a state, representative for a state. To me, it's just like we said before earlier on this cast. Think about it. Before you start saying stuff, you better make sure you check your P's and Q's.
Yeah, because you don't know who's watching, what news outlet might be around. You never know who's listening. So you better check yourself before you say stuff, especially if you're going to be a public figure like that.
Yeah.
You just can't be a governor making those kind of, I mean, a lieutenant governor making those kind of statements.
And it does, governor, lieutenant governor, doesn't matter. To me, I'm kind of curious if this guy here, like, do a little more research on him, if he was the same guy that actually went in front of a city hall once because complained about guns
Hmm.
and pulling like why should America all lose our weapons, this and that. If this is the same guy, then we know he's on the and he actually is on a Republican ticket. He's a Republican. Again, we're not
Hmm.
here to judge left or right. I'm just telling you that hands down is that it's very, very depressing to say transgender and gay people is a demonic push in America, a demonic presence. False. God loves all. Just gonna tell you right now. Go back and get that Bible and go read it.
It is true. Well, is there anything else you want to add for tonight?
That's really all we have tonight. Really, to be honest with you, I was kind of really wanted to talk a little bit about that as we were talking about things. To be honest with you, we ran out of stuff to talk about. That's
Oh,
crazy.
I had more, but I was gonna wait for the next episode
Yeah,
because
well, well,
because of the whole hiccup that happened. I really don't know how much time we had, and for the last two episodes, we kind of went over our time, so I want to make sure we didn't go over our time.
so we're pretty close on time. I think we're just
Yeah.
about an hour-ish, I think, into it.
Yep. So yeah. So thank you all for tuning in to this episode of the Same Cast Different Day podcast. Don't forget to head over to cafepress.com/scdd podcast for your official podcast merch.
And don't forget, check us out at direct.me/samecast everyday podcast. That's our website. You can follow us, keep us up to date. And by the way, if you do follow us on there, and you're always welcome, you can always make your own direct.me website. That's where you go to check us out. Don't forget, you can also check out Martel. He has a website, so do I. It is direct.me slash.
Martel Roland and direct.me/Crystal B.
You can always check us out. So, Martel, what are your socials?
They can find me on the Twitter, the Instagram, the Facebook, the TikTok, and the Clapper at Martel Roland.
Guys, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'm Crystal B, the co-host. You can check me out on Facebook at Crystal B. You can check me out on TikTok, Clapper, and Instagram at Miss Care Bear WI. By all means, please send me a message if you wish to add me. We always like to hear your feedback. We always are willing to bring you up if you actually want to be a guest, in our podcast. Please do send us a message. You can send us an email at
scddpodcast@gmail.com. You can always reach out to us on Facebook under the Same Cast Different Day podcast Facebook page. You just send us a message on there. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in to this episode, and we will see you all on Thursday.